little blanket on a little bed in a little house. It makes very little sense. There's a whole load of needles and wool on that shelf. Or should I say yarn? I just don't know anymore. The owner of this house seems to enjoy reading. Though, I'm not sure what else there is to do up here, actually. Check out that sunlight beaming through the window. It's so bright I should have brought my sunglasses. There's a book on the table. I think it's a book about flowers. How fascinating. I must take some time to read it.
You just walked straight into my house, did you?
Not
Normally, I have methods for dealing with unwanted attention.
Do you get any attention up here?
Most of the time, people like to leave me alone. But I don't think you're going to, are you?
No. I could make an excuse and say it's my job to ask you about last night, but to be honest, I climbed all the way up here and I just like being indoors.
Well, if you insist on staying, I'll tell you. I'm Lady Weybridge, and I think you might be climbing up the wrong trees.
I'm Detective Grimoire, and I think I might agree with you. What do you do here? Did you work for Richard Remington?
I was living here before that man was even born. And I have absolutely nothing to do with him, or his little tourist attraction.
You're exaggerating. How long have you been here? Just in this treehouse? What do you do up here?
I've been here longer than anyone. Even longer than, well, anyone.
I like numbers.
60 years, something like that.
What have you been doing for that time? If you don't mind me asking.
I have many reasons to be here, but I won't bore you with all the details of my life.
I'm sure there's one detail worth writing down.
I like to study the plants and flowers in this area. I've learned many things from them.
What about this little chemistry set you've got on your table?
I wouldn't call it a chemistry set. But if you bring me an object that has liquid on it, or inside it, I'll tell you what that liquid consists of.
Wow, how do you do that?
Chemistry.
Let's see. First thing we do is put the sample of liquid into the cauldron, then tap the faucet. And now, we just have to match the color of that liquid with these ingredients. Got it! Now I know what that liquid consists of. I'll write it down in my notes. Let's see. First thing we do is put the sample and tap. And now, we just have to match the color of that liquid with these ingredients. Got it! Now I know what that liquid consists of. I'll write it down in my notes. That looks pretty similar to last time.
You should ask someone else. Your job is to ask me about what happened last night.
Do you even know what happened last night?
I know more than you might imagine.
Oh, that sounds useful. Can you tell me? What were you doing?
I was here, in my house by myself.
What else?
That's it.
Thanks. Just give me a minute to write all this down.
You can put that away. I can't help you with it. No, thank you.
I'm indoors. What a treat. The owner of this house seems to enjoy reading, though... Predictably, a trash can, and I just can't resist taking a look inside. The glamorous life of a detective. My favorite part of the job. Maybe there's something underneath the trash in here. Hello, what's this? Just a piece of paper? Or something more sinister? Are we really talking about a swamp creature here? The costume design I found in the trash can explains what the swamp creature was doing last night. No. The costume design I found in the trash can explains what Burrow's black and white photo was doing last night. Ooh, that's nearly right. The costume design I found in the trash can explains what the Boggy character was doing last night. What is that? Did the real creature show up last night? The costume design I found in the trash can explains what Burrow's black and white photo is showing me. My detective's intuition is kicking in. That black and white photograph. I'm not sure I'm looking at the real Boggy here, and I think these designs I found in the trash can might be the answer. I'll ask around, see if anybody knows anything about this. Oh, and I should start looking for the costume itself. If I can find that, there'll be some pretty impressive evidence.
I have something for you.
Another gift already. Where are you keeping all this stuff? You don't even have pockets in that dress.
I don't need a pocket to carry a key.
What key?
I don't know. You could try it on any door you like. Although, I recommend you try it on that office door.
Remington's office? The tables and chairs are made out of parts of a ship, I think. Never really learned much about ships.
Ah, yes. I heard they were sending somebody over. So you're Detective Grimoire?
At your service. Well, kind of. You're a suspect, too.
Of course, of course. Feel free to be as suspicious as you like. I won't be offended. You can call me Harper.
How did you know my name?
I can only assume I must have read about one of your many exploits. But I think you'll find the swamp to be your greatest challenge.
I love challenge. I eat challenge for breakfast.
The swamp itself has a history that has captured many imaginations, for better or for worse. My advice to you, look to the past. It could be the way forward.
So, you sit in this boat all day and sell food to people? To tourists, I guess?
Not just the tourists, but the employees too. To anyone who is hungry or thirsty. I know everyone's favorite foods.
What are they? Oh, and is this a real shipwreck? How did it get here?
I can't expose all the secrets of the swamp. I don't want to spoil your fun.
Is there a secret to this shipwreck?
No.
You just spoiled my fun.
You'll find out there are some secrets worth keeping when you've worked here as long as I have.
Well, how long is that?
I've worked in the swamp almost as long as Mr. Remington. We knew each other for a long time.
Really? So what was his favorite food?
Mr. Remington enjoyed a specialty only I can make. The bog dog. He ate one nearly every day. A real creature of habit, that one.
It looks like a hot dog.
It's similar, but I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. I'm not serving them today.
Why not?
Yesterday I found this strange green powder in my entire supply.
Guess I'm out of luck today. Well, thanks for the information. You've been a real big help.
Wait, take this with you. If you get thirsty, it's the most popular drink in Boggy's Bog. Swamp juice. Try it.
It looks like... Well, I'll try some later on.
You're in luck. That's my last bottle. A lot of swamp juice has been disappearing from my stock recently. I can only assume I must have been selling them all.
Did something strange happen at the cafe yesterday? Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after swamp juice sold him some swamp juice. I don't get it. Seriously. Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Hopper sold him a bog dog. Hopper is basically in charge of all the food and drink here in Boggy's Bog. I'll have to ask him about this.
You have a lot of suspects on that list. You're going to ask me about what I was doing last night.
I was going to? Were you going to tell me anything?
I was working here at the cafe in the evening. I had a couple customers. Eventually they all left and I locked up and went home.
Do you lock away everything at night?
Not everything, just the storeroom over there.
You mean that little door on the side of the ship? Is there anything else to lock?
I leave the chairs, tables, and trash can where they are. Lifting things like that is not a job for an old man.
Don't you have anyone to help you?
Mr. Remington liked to keep us down to his skeleton staff. There simply aren't many people who would choose to work in a place like this.
A skeleton staff? Well, that's convenient for him since...
Don't make that joke. I won't laugh. Someone made a costume to look like the creature. They must have known it would get reaction for sure. But I wonder if they planned things to go this far.
When you're finished theorizing, I was going to show you these sketches I found in the trash can right next to your cafe.
It does seem like someone was designing a costume. A disguise, perhaps.
I don't know.
Try to think why somebody would do such a thing.
I don't know.
What could they achieve with it?
I don't know.
Not yet. I don't know everything, I'm afraid.
I was told Remington left the cafe looking ill last night. Since you seem to be completely in charge of all the food and drink around here, I'm afraid this is something I can't ignore.
He was an old man. His health wasn't perfect. But I'm not arguing with you. I think it is suspicious. What do you think caused it?
What do I think caused it? A bog dog he ate at the cafe gave him food poisoning.
I keep all my food locked in the storeroom when I'm not here. You think he was poisoned?
I think he was poisoned.
Poisoned by me?
The storeroom was broken into with a lockpick.
A lockpick? I've never encountered a problem like this before. But since last night, am I in a position to doubt a claim like that?
Somebody knew that Remington would eat a bog dog. He ate one every day, right?
Do you suppose this explains the missing bottles of swamp juice as well?
There's a little locked door on the side of the ship here. I think it's part of the cafe. It's a humble gift shop wagon. Let's take a look. Bonky dolls, bonky toys, bonky postcards. This stuff isn't half bad. What on earth? This thing doesn't seem to belong here at all. It's some kind of roughly made costume head. There's a strange piece of red fabric stuffed inside. 2 clues for the price of 1, I guess. What on earth? There's just 2 clues.
What?
Sorry to interrupt. I can see that you're, hard at work.
You weren't here yesterday.
Oh, no, I only just arrived.
You're the detective, right?
I'm a detective.
So, that was your hat I saw blowing through here.
You spotted it too.
If you're good at your job, you may have realized that it's kinda dead around here. So, I generally notice magical floating detective hats. Oh, and don't worry, you look better without it.
How do you know?
Oh, I have a good imagination. I can draw way better than that.
Could you show me?
There's no time. Maybe in a sequel.
I didn't expect to see someone your age working in a place like this. But then again, I didn't expect there to be a place like this in a place like this.
I only started working here this year anyway. It's temporary. Just running the gift shop to earn a little extra money. Don't ask how I ended up here.
I'll save that question for a different day. You don't seem at home here exactly.
I hate it. This place is disgusting.
Come on, you don't think it's kind of beautiful?
You would say that. You only just got here. You'll get sick of it.
If I wasn't here, I'd be stuck in my office doing paperwork.
At least at your office, you don't have to bring spare clothes every day. It's impossible to leave this place without being covered in dirt.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I have a pretty good view of him from here. Anyone supporting animal rights is okay in my book. His protests used to have a bit more energy, though. He spends more time inside his tent these days.
What's he doing in there?
I'm happy to say, I don't know.
There might be something I can ask Echo about. Echo spends less time holding the protest sign and more time in his tent. I wonder if Echo can tell me what he's been doing that's more important than his protest.
I really don't know what to tell you. Is that one of the other suspects? They're more suspicious than me. Let's agree on that.
When you have a moment free from your busy schedule, I need to ask you about last night.
I know, but it won't help. I worked here during the day, then left my gift shop and went home in the evening, same as every day.
You just leave your gift shop here when you go?
No, I put it in my pocket.
Yeah, seriously though, as much as I appreciate sarcasm, I think I'd get in trouble if I wrote something like that down in my notes.
Well, look, you've noticed the gift shop has wheels and you're thinking, oh, she's pretty lazy to leave it lying around. But if you want to try pushing this thing through the swamp, be my guest. And I can't lock it up, so I just leave it here overnight. Nobody's ever stolen any of this lousy merchandise anyway. I even left my spare clothes here when I went home last night.
You left them here? By the gift shop?
Yeah, it's no big deal. They were all still here this morning. Kind of.
Kind of?
I think someone played a stupid joke, and my spare black leggings were covered in some disgusting swamp slime when I found them in the bag this morning. If you're going to take my clothes and mess them up, then just keep them. I don't want them back. You know what I mean?
I absolutely do. I have a theory that the murderer was wearing a costume, a homemade outfit designed to look like the swamp creature.
I've never seen anything so ridiculous. You'd never see me in that.
I know it's not exactly the latest fashion, but...
No, you'd never see me in that. It would cover me up entirely.
That's the point of a disguise?
Look, detective. When you have legs like mine, you don't want to be wearing disguises.
Is that why you always wear those black leggings?
You've only just met me and you're making assumptions about what I always wear.
And making assumptions is the fun part of being a detective.
Well, you're right. I always wear these.
A shipwreck? In a swamp? Does that make any sense? And why is there a cafe growing out of the side? What can you tell me about these designs for a costume? A boggy costume.
It's Boggy! I must admit, I've been a fan of his before I ever came to the swamp.
A fan? So you're interested in cryptozoology?
Oh, no, I meant, well, Boggy has been in all kinds of cartoons and comic strips. He's one of the greatest characters of the last 100 years. I've got some comics in my tent. You really should see.
But he was only discovered 60 years ago.
Oh, that's true. Well, I rounded up.
But what about his costume? Have you seen anyone wearing it?
I can honestly say I've never seen anyone wearing anything like that. And I'm a very observant person. You're wasting your time with that. I have nothing to say about them. He seems like a good person. He even sympathizes with my cause.
he agrees with your protest? But he works here, right? And he was friends with Remington.
I think that was the only reason he worked here. Maybe he'll see the light now and leave the swamp behind him. Maybe everyone will. You're asking the wrong person. I'm afraid I have no...
I heard you've been spending less time protesting recently and more time, in your tent. Normally I wouldn't pry, but it's my job to ask...
Untouched people have even noticed something like that. I usually get the impression everyone else is doing their best to ignore me.
So, you admit it's true?
You can put your notebook away. There isn't really any reason for it. Nothing worth writing down, at least.
Well, if it's not worth writing down, maybe it's worth hearing.
In that case, you'd forget it.
How do you know? Maybe it would echo in my mind.
Look, if you take a guess and get it right, I promise not to deny it.
Let's work out why Echo was hidden away in his tent. Notebook time. You've been in your tent, hiding from Boggy.
Why not? Show it to somebody else.
Oh?
I found these designs for a costume, a Boggy costume.
Aha, the legendary swamp creature.
Yeah, that's the one.
But these are just a child's drawings, are they not?
You think?
Perhaps. It's difficult to tell. I'm sorry I have not seen that before. Try showing it to somebody different. I really don't have an... You should ask someone else. Try showing it to...
What can you tell me about these designs for a Boggy costume?
Nothing whatsoever.
You're sure you didn't see anything like this while you were filming yesterday? Wait, hold on a minute. What if
Don't you dare ask.
This costume isn't your doing, is it? Made for your movie, I mean?
My friend, there will be no costumed idiots within the viewfinder of my camera. I can assure you that.
What about your Boggy movie? Isn't that gonna be, like, a guy in a costume, or a puppet, or one of those weird robot things?
Technology has been kind to people like me. We no longer have any need for such tomfoolery. I can create a perfectly believable swamp creature within the confines of a computer. Much cheaper, too.
Huh.
You want me to sign a photograph for you? I'm a busy man.
Even though I have the key, this might not be as simple as I'd hoped. This door has 2 keyholes. So, which key should I use in each one? Remington's desk is covered in drawings and maps and notes. It's all about Boggy. He was obsessed. An ink bottle spilled into his work. I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose. Yeesh, it's a bit of a mess. Perhaps there's something underneath those drawings. It's a letter Remington was writing. Before something caused him to spill his ink bottle. My dear fellow, I received your note 2 weeks ago, but have only recently found the time to do the appropriate research on the matter. I feel like my time in this awful swamp might finally come to all due to the simple realization, the rest is obscured. What a tease. It's a note addressed to Richard Remington. The handwriting is immaculate. Richard, our man of the world. A little help is in order. We're worried that the efforts regarding our elusive little friend might be in vain. Send word when you can. The letter is signed FF, and attached is a blurry little picture. It's some kind of metallic insect. The whole thing is a mystery. I have no idea. It's the letter, and it's some the whole Vincent Vanderpeer's business card. There's a couple of numbers scribbled on the back. There's a map of the swamp lying on the desk. It's been annotated in a few places. There's a map of the swamp lying on the desk. It's been Vincent Vanderpeer. There's a map of the. It's been. It's a letter Remington before my iris, but I feel old. Photos and paintings line the wall above the fireplace, but one of the frames is empty. Wait a second. What are these pieces on the floor underneath it? This photo is ripped, but it looks important. If I can piece it together again, maybe it'll reveal a secret. This and some other men I don't know. They're all holding rifles. Maybe I can ask Harper about it. An old hunting rifle, discarded carelessly near the window. This isn't the kind of thing I can ignore. The open window looks over the wooden planks outside. Oh, and on one side, a part of the curtain has been ripped off. It's a sharp metal poker for a fireplace, hidden in the shadows. Something about those three prongs. I feel like I just stumbled across an incredibly important piece of evidence. Have I uncovered a secret in here? Those footprints explains why Richard Remington was found at the crime scene. I don't get it. Those footprints explains why a broken mirror was found at the crime scene. I'm losing my mind. There's something about Mr. Remington. Richard Remington is historical evidence that the hunting photo was found at the crime scene. I'm losing my... Those footprints explains why Remington's desk was found at the crime scene. I'm losing my mind. The hunting photo explains why Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. Maybe I just need to change one thing. Something in Remington's history. The hunting photo is historical evidence that Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. I'm getting a strong feeling that Remington might be the bad guy in this story. If he wasn't already dead, I would have loved to ask him a couple of questions. I should ask around, see if I can gather any information about his motives for being here. Remington's desk is covered in drawings, and it's all about panic. Perhaps